Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Carthritis Podcast, where we sit down for a quote-unquote brief conversation with Antistar as he discusses his gold medal win in time trials at CDM 2018.
Hello?
Yes, there we go. Okay, so you were on the show about 2 months ago or so. Where you,
two months ago, really?
Is it not that far?
2 weeks ago, no?
No, come on.
Seems longer than 2 weeks ago, yeah.
No, I think that was 1 month ago. I think it was 2 weeks before CDM.
Oh yeah, okay, that's probably correct then. So on that show, you said that you would really like to do some big spectacle at the first CDM out of France.
Yep, indeed.
And I'm not entirely sure why that's so important, but I do know for sure that it was a big spectacle. So can you just say some words about the time trial at CDM, but if you could start with the group stage and just take us through the whole thing? Yeah,
of course. Well, the group stage was, according to my personal feelings, it was really average. What I just wanted to do was driving very safe, not just like on the previous years where I was going for championship records and what we call scratch times. I just wanted to feel comfortable with my driving and not going for the overall top 3. Just being 4 or 5 was okay. Just to make sure I was in some kind of good condition. And I really thought that maybe 5 or 6 on 20 races were okay, and the rest was total shit. In the end, I was 5th at the end of the group stage, which was a total surprise to me, because I really expected guys like Aaron or Chris to be better than me, perhaps even Leila or Martin van Asteren, who were very big outsiders there, who proved to be very big outsiders just afterwards. But I managed to get the top 5 I was supposed to get at the beginning. So this was a bit relieving, but not that much, because top 5, in my opinion, was something who could mean I performed well. And when you perform that bad, in my opinion, and get top 5 in the end, it means that you can do something in the quarterfinals, just because someone can fail somewhere, just because some of the big guys can make a terrible top 16 or a quarterfinal. So I didn't think this was the best way to feel confident after the group stage. Something like being 7 or 8 would have been some kind of warning in my head, just telling me, well, you really have to move your lazy ass up, because if you drive like this, you're going to be knocked out very early. And well, being 5th just meant absolutely nothing to me. So the moment where everything began was actually this very, very weird run of 16 that happened just afterwards.
Yes. So can you just mention the tracks?
Yep. I think this was Ghost Valley 3 and Vanjalik 2.
Yeah, I think what the guys in the venue saw on stream, the Ghost Valley 3 attempt from Sami, pretty much shocked everyone. I was very surprised to play on TV number 3 or 4, I don't exactly remember, because I was 5th actually during this group stage. So, oh no, this was not the moment where I played there. This was during the group stage, and I'm just getting confused. But I played this GV3 one try with a lot of pressure, because mine in the group stage was terrible. The beginning was okay, the 3 first laps were okay, and I miserably failed into not even the platform jump hole, actually, one of the easiest ones to avoid. And so I knew there was some kind of curse around Ghost Valley 3 in the history of CDM time trials, because GV3 happened a lot of times in quarterfinals. I got knocked out twice in quarterfinals because of it. Neo already got knocked out at this moment in 2012 because of it. And this is really the most cursed track in the history of CDM time trials. But I managed to make a really perfect race, which was the only 117 that happened, if I'm correct.
Oh, yeah.
Neo was just behind. Leila, I think, was third. Michael Youngerus got a very, very good time too. But unfortunately, he made very bad Vanya Like 2 that knocked him out just afterwards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But just after Vanya Like 2, which was pretty average for me, I won't even say this was safe because it was a 1-0-0, and for me, this is just bad. I heard that both Sami, Carol, and Scoob completely missed their Ghost Valley 3 race and didn't get any chance to make a strong comeback afterwards. So at that exact moment, I told myself, okay, I'm part of the Big 8. I'm quarterfinals for the... it was the 12th consecutive year in quarterfinals of time trial for me. But I was just thinking, what if Neo and I are the only big title contenders still in the race at that moment? If this happens, the pressure will be higher because Neo and I will be the guys just designed to be in the final. because the rest, apart from Chris Wide, is not supposed to be here, or at least they're supposed to be 6, 7, or 8. So there was going to be a massive surprise, even for the little final at least. And well, I was hoping to get one of what I was calling my final CDM medal, because I was still dreaming about getting one at someday. And that when the round of 16 was over, I was thinking, well, this is really my moment, because I am now totally supposed to get at least a silver medal. And for some totally unknown reason, this totally brought me back to my 2015 skills. And this is where I started to play just like I hadn't driven for years. And so maybe you want me to talk about the quarterfinals too?
If you remember the tracks and just go through it.
Yeah, I remember, because the first one was Bowser Castle 2, and the upcoming one was Ghost Valley 1. And Bowser Castle 2, by chance, is a track I really feel like, how to say this? This is a track I really enjoy to play in one try, because I know this is a very long track, which requires a lot of concentration, which requires even more consistency than many other ones, because you can make the difference on it. If you're able to win half a second on every lap on this one, this is going to be the track where you make a big difference in comparison to everyone else. And this is a track where I know that I can get the small shortcut just before the last series of bumpers. So I decided to go for it. Because many years ago, when I was playing a lot of time trial, I had some kind of routine when I was playing this track, which required me to do the shortcut.
You mean the zigzag route alongside?
Yeah, exactly,
the
exactly.
right.
That one, which is supposed to be very hard, but if I manage to get it during the opener, I'm okay for the rest of the race, because I just need to find my correct path for the opener, and if I get it, I know it's okay for the rest of the race. Contrary to Bowser Castle 3, which is full of traps and almost random moments, BC2 is a track I found, well, kind of safe for me in one try. So I managed to get a 144, which was probably the first really good time I achieved during this championship. Well, the Ghost Valley 3 one was cool too, but I really thought this was a much better one, just because of the huge pressure of the quarterfinal, and also because I knew that this was going to be a track where I could get the first time by a big lead, actually. And indeed, Neo was 2 or 3 seconds behind me. and the next track was Ghost Valley 1. So it was
Yeah,
really easy, just because I knew that probably nobody would get the platform jump. And
So that begs the question: did you go for the platform jump this time?
no. Well, actually, in my wildest dreams, I would have done it just to see Carol's reaction if I made it.
You're right.
Because Carol already told me I was crazy to go for it at every CDM group stage.
Yes, this is correct.
And this is one moment where it would have been totally stupid to do it. And even if I have very good feeling when it comes to the platform jump, and I think I have very, very good success rate on this one. No, sorry, this is the moment when you don't have to show off your big balls. You just have to draw the safest possible. Even if you get 108 or well, whatever, you just don't have to be ridiculous when it's just about being safe.
Yeah.
So I drove safe. This was absolutely awful. I didn't even try any single NBT just because I wanted to make the safest Ghost Valley 1 possible. I did it. This was, I think I was ranked second on this one, so that was okay. And then happened the semifinals that looked, of course, obvious for most of the people here, because seeing Neo and me were the only guys there who got medals in the past in this mode. I think for most of the people, this there was absolutely no surprise with Neo and me being 1 and 2 in quarters, then in semis. But you just cannot imagine how huge the pressure is at this moment, because when you know, because when you know that everyone thinks you're gonna do it, the first thing that comes to your mind is, what if you completely fail? And this is something that you have to really write off your mind as soon as possible.
Uh-huh.
And fortunately, the way the time trial was settled this year prevented me from any kind of doubts, because things were happening rather quick. There were no big breaks. I think actually the time trial final phase doesn't require any kind of break, because this is something that happens very, very fast. And
it was really fast. Yeah, I was surprised at how fast it was, to be honest.
Yeah, you really don't need more than 2 or 3 minutes before between every stage. And well, this was my 5th semifinal in time trial, I think. My 5th semifinal in this mode. The 4th actually, because my first silver medal in 2004 wasn't exactly in the same system. This wasn't a regular run of 16 quarters semi system. This was a bit different. Yeah. But this was my 8th semifinal in my 4th semifinal in 8 years. Sorry. So this was something I used to know, but I knew this was going to be different this year, just because I absolutely didn't feel I was the how to say this, the big favorite for it. When I won 5 years ago, everyone was thinking I would do it, and the 2 upcoming years, everyone also thought I would do it, even if I only reached bronze those years. In 2018, this was a total surprise to me. Perhaps a lot of people thought, well, this is logical. Mario is number 3 on the time trial side. Carol and Scuba are out, so of course he deserves to be here.
Well, that's not exactly how it works under pressure, but I get your point.
Totally. And the thing is, 2018 is probably the year I played the less time trial in my life. I really only played 1 fucking track in the year, which was Vanilla Lake 1.
So this also happened to be
this is the point. Yeah, totally. This is the point. I'm gonna move on just after telling the semi-final story. But I'm gonna talk about Vanilla Lake 1 just afterwards. The semi-final was it was special because I knew that Jay was perhaps a bit weaker than the three of us, but Chris Wide, to me, was a major threat because I knew he's a fucking great player, especially when it comes to driving and time trial, and I knew the tracks really decide of my fate, because if the tracks were going to be something like Mario Circuit 3 and 4, well, Chris would be the big favorite there. Fortunately, we got Koopa Beach 1, which is more like Neo's track, and once again I decided to go very safe, playing of course NBT and getting all the stride boosts, but driving really wide in the last turn to make sure I wouldn't hit the fucking fish. And so I got 53, 90 something. And at that moment, I told myself, well, I might be part of the big two. I don't know what the others did. Just let's hope the second track is not something tricky like Bowser Castle 3, for example. And of course, what was the second track? Bowser Castle 3. When I realized that I had a big lead on Neo, actually, 4 seconds maybe, I absolutely didn't know what Chris and Jay had done, but I knew that securing 1:36.7 would totally make it. And I was on my way to make it very easily, but unfortunately the fucking Thwomps ruined my race in lap 4. At this moment, I really started to shake like a leaf, just because I was driving since the beginning of the final phase, just like 3-4 years ago, very confident, very confident in my skills and in my luck. And at that moment, of course, there was a huge shadow of a doubt in my mind. So when I got my final 1:40 time, I really needed to check what the others got. And well, my really safe and good Koopa Beach 1 time saved me. I don't exactly remember which was the gap between me and the others, but I was even first after the semifinals. So
okay.
I was almost worrying for nothing. But when you just drive this, you absolutely completely forget what the others did. You absolutely have to focus on your driving, try to make it the safest possible, and when there is only one thing that doesn't go well, this is really a huge suffering. And you drive safe. You try to do your best at the same moment, but the main thing you're focusing about is please do not make stupid mistakes. And Bowser Castle 3 is the only fucking track where the mistakes do not depend on you.
Mm-hmm.
So when this happens, well, you just feel like you're Carol at this moment, saying, why always me? And I don't even imagine what would happen to the poor Carol if he had played his semi-final with Bowser Castle 3, to be honest. And
you hit some thwomps in like the 4th lap?
You mean in my race?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I wasn't totally blocked and stumped by the thwomp.
No.
But I lost 4 or 5 seconds there. So
right. Yeah.
This was I wasn't comfortable at all at this moment. And here is when the results were announced, when my name was called first. So I knew this wasn't even totally lucky, because Neo was second, so he was closer to me than from the elimination. I wasn't even totally relieved, just because from the moment I played this Bowser Castle 2 race, which was so solid, and realized Ghost 1 was coming afterwards, where in my mind I was really like, you really can win it once again. It will only depend on your skills. You just have to drive like you always did in the past. Do not focus on the others. Just wait to meet Neo in final, because it was pretty sure it would be Neo. And at this moment, it will only depend on the track. Just please do not make it be Mario Circuit 2.
because the prime is Neo is extremely strong when it comes to play Mario Circuit 2 in one try with the long boosts, which I am absolutely not familiar anymore with. I haven't played any single long boost power race Mario Circuit 2 in 5 years. So, and just as I told before, I hadn't practiced anything at all before the CDM. When I arrived in Alphen at 3 p.m., this is the first moment where I decided to practice a bit some time trial, apart from Vanilla Lake 1, of course. So, of course, just like I said, I had the feeling that my skills were coming back. I played much better in the final phase that I had done in the past 2 years, maybe the past 3 years actually. But I knew my fate would totally depend on the track, because 5 years ago when I won, I was only afraid of Mario Circuit 2, and not as much as I would have been this year.
Sorry. I was gonna say, so when they announced Vanilla Lake 1, what did you think?
Well, this actually, the way Patrick announced it was funny, because he decided to get some suspense, saying Vanilla Lake. But come on, Patrick, Vanilla Lake 2 happened in the round of 16, and you cannot use this track anymore. So of course it's gonna be Vanilla Lake 1. So when he said Vanilla, even before he said Lake, I just told myself, oh, what the fuck? Why am I so fucking lucky at this moment? Because I had played this track for so many damn hours to get this world record that I secured just really at the deep end of my first holiday week before CDM. This is the only track where I knew that I could be absolutely unbeatable, because I had practiced the opener a lot of times already. I've always found playing Vanilla Lake 1 without hitting a single block is something really fascinating.
Oh, that was crazy.
Especially when you don't, when you cannot use the ghost with the pad number 2. And so at this moment, well, I knew before starting the race that if I could do what I'm able to do at home in one try on this track, Neo couldn't beat me. Just because his strategy, and I know it, is to get rid of most of the blocks in the opener. And so his opener is probably 13 or maybe 14 seconds. After this, he's going to get 4 crazy laps. He could absolutely not beat me if I didn't hit a single block during the whole race. And so,
which is crazy to even attempt, to be honest.
In a one try for a gold medal, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's a world championship final, so you have to make something spectacular for the people who attend the show. And I had
commentary.
I had won this one, too. I had won this one 5 years ago. I won't say that I didn't mind losing the gold medal at that moment, but there was no reason for me to play it safe, because I knew I was capable of doing it. And, well, when I managed to escape the first series of blocks, then the second one, and just hit this final one, just to remove it for absolutely nothing, because this is the most useless one to remove. When I started lap 2, at that exact moment, in my mind, it was just like, well, no, you are gonna win this one if you do your job, because Neo cannot catch you. Do your job, do not make any mistakes. He absolutely cannot catch you. I absolutely didn't watch his screen at that moment, because I knew what his strategy was, and I really don't think he knew the way I was gonna drive. And a lot of people told me afterwards they didn't know this was a lucky pick for me, because this track was really known to be Neo's track for years. He owned the 5-lap world record for probably 7 or 8 years, and he was really the Vanilla Lake 1 master for many, many years. And the only thing I remembered in the next hours and days is
my two last laps are something I absolutely didn't control at all, really, because when the first 3 laps are so perfect and so flawless, this is the moment when the pressure is the highest possible. This is the moment where you are really totally on the edge and saying to yourself, even if you don't have to listen to yourself saying this, you are very, very, very close to crack. You are very close to fail. And just don't do it. And my last lap, when I missed the slide boost, well, I recovered. I absolutely don't have any idea of how I recovered and got through the ice blocks without hitting them. When I watched the video again, I'm saying, what the fuck? How did I do this? This is just completely. This is nuts.
We were saying the same thing when we were watching it live.
Yeah,
this is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
because when I watch the first 4 laps, well, it looks okay for me. It looks like just I know what I do. I'm really dealing with my driving skills. But my final lap is, well, it's a fucking miracle. And the first series to when you miss this slide boost, the last part. To be really honest, I absolutely didn't know what to do because I wasn't at the optimal speed I used to be at this precise moment. So, well, it was 50-50 actually. It was just do this and perhaps you're gonna hit the block and perhaps you're gonna pass. And well, I passed. And when I realized where he was, well, in half a second, I just had to make sure I wouldn't crash in the last turn, which would have been terrible. And this is the moment when that thing that everyone remembers happened.
So it sounds like, just to kind of give it a nice little bow tie on the end of this, I guess. So it sounds like your entire experience for your strategy was to maybe play it safe, get to the top 5, top 6 if you're lucky, right? And then when you finally get to a level where it's like, all right, now the game's on, you just really stepped it up. And then Vanilla Lake 1 was the last track, and you're just like, I'm gonna go absolutely balls out because I know that can beat Neo.
Totally.
Yeah.
I don't know what would have been my strategy on other races. I think Neo and I have a very close level when it comes to this kind of moment in time trial, of course, because in 2-player modes he's better than me. But when it comes to time trial in one try, I think we have very, very similar level. We both have tracks that we prefer, of course. But this moment, I was lucky to get Vanilla Lake 1. I don't think I would have lost in other tracks, just like, for example, Mario Circuit 1 or Choco Island 2 or other tracks we never faced in finals before. Just having a look at my state of mind of the moment, because this is something I really absolutely cannot explain. But I was at the peak of my career and my time trial skills in 2013, 14, and 15. Mm-hmm. And afterwards, I started to decline and to play less aggressive, with less risks, and making much more mistakes. But I just drove like I used to do in the past, which explains perhaps why I reached the final again and drove the way I did in the final.
And also, but you happen to just be like, out of the 20 tracks that could have possibly been played, Vanilla Lake 1 was the one track that you played extensively for the year.
Yep.
So that's a stroke of luck.
Totally. I don't know which track would have been the second best pick for me. Well, perhaps the other Vanilla Lake 1, just because Neo hates it, actually. because he really hates Vanilla Lake 2, and I like to be aggressive on this one, and even trying island jumps in the end. So,
man.
But yeah, of course, I always thought that being a champion requires skills and luck, and luck always strikes at the moment you need it.
Unless you're
yeah, of course, but I don't think the pro carer knows actually what luck is. So
I don't think he's ever had good luck. I think it's only been bad luck, right?
Yeah. Totally.
Excellent. Well, Sargoth had to go, so I think we should wrap it up.
No worries.
So, anything else you would want to say about the CDM or just the finals in general?
Well, what I perhaps need to elaborate a bit is my reaction after winning, because it seems it surprised a lot of people. It shocked some people. A lot of them find it very funny and frightening at the same time. The only reason I reacted this way is just because, as I told when the medals were given to us afterwards, I absolutely didn't think I could hit a second gold medal in my career. I hadn't absolutely planned to play another final in my career, and so of course I absolutely didn't plan the way I could react to another win. But this is something very, very, very strong to live for the second time.
Well, but that's a good thing, though. I mean, you should be pretty charismatic about it, because when we saw it live, I was just like, yeah, he's super excited that he won a gold medal. You know, instead of Neo, it's just like, business as usual. You know.
Yeah, totally. Just because you don't think you're gonna do it again, and just because you think the first time you did it was the only one, the total surprise it is makes you totally explode. Just because you are the first one surprised, and you also your body and your mind are invaded by such an intense joy and happiness at this moment. Why just stay calm, and why why not showing to all the people how happy this makes you?
Sure.
At this moment, I just wanted to say, wow, this is fucking amazing. I've done something I absolutely didn't expect, that nobody in that room expected to. So why should I keep it calm? Seriously, this is something that I can enjoy for a very, very short moment of time in my life. I absolutely didn't think I could leave it again in my life. I still don't think I'm gonna leave it again in the future. So, well, you just you have the right to behave this way at this moment.
Yeah.
This is
and you mentioned the pressure that was on you the entire time while you're playing. That's something that people that are just spectating don't exactly understand. So for you to be going through it at the time, and then for you to actually just get to, like, past that point, it's just like, oh my god, I just got a gold medal. This is insane.
Yeah.
Man, let your feelings fly. Why not? You know.
And you mentioned the pressure, because the people who watch know there is pressure. Perhaps they don't know what the pressure is, but they know there is some. But if they know the pressure, they don't necessarily know what is your background with SMK, what you've been through in years, what how much you played, what were your personal expectations. So they absolutely cannot predict the way you're going to react if you get a surprise victory somewhere. And so, just like I explained to the people afterwards, I regard this now as my best CDM memory, because in 2013, I don't say this was obvious I was going to win, but everyone was waiting for me to do it. Just because
you were in your prime in time trials at the time, so yeah.
Totally. I was crowned PAL number 1 2 weeks before. I was really, really climbing up the rankings and destroying world records every week at this moment. So I was the obvious gold medalist in the minds of almost everyone before it started. This year, I don't think anybody could have bet a single euro on me. just because
well, for being out of practice for a long time. So,
yeah. Well, Sammy has always been super strong in that mode, and everyone knows the beast he is in control, and how regular and safe he is. Scoob never won it and was very, very motivated, and his number 2, he probably drove the best this year in time trial. Neo, of course, can win time trial at absolutely any moment, and Carol was at home
He didn't suffer the travel, all the hours in planes or trains or cars, etc. So why wouldn't this have been the year of Carrel afterwards? I was really the fifth pick in everyone's mind, I think. So being in the semi-final was something that could happen, but honestly, getting the gold medal was really, really a hard pick in my mind. So yeah, when this is a total surprise, you don't have to play it humble, and this is not a problem of modesty, or this is your time. You have to feel it and live it the way you want to, just because you have the right to do this for a couple of seconds.
I think
this moment is totally yours.
I think your celebration was pretty appropriate, and I know that some of us were kind of in the chat going like, oh, look at look at him, you know. Like I was just making a joke when I said like, oh yeah, always the humble Antistar, whatever. But, but I was actually appreciating it, so I just want to set that record clear.
But you know, this is something that belongs to you. But when you scream that loud, you also communicate with the people who watched. You just want to make them be part of it, because this is not just like getting the strongest world record of your career along in your room. This is you getting beating a guy like Neo in a wine try race on Vanilla Lake 1 at the CDM, in front of dozens of people who know what SMK is, who, for some of them, got medals in the past and world records.
Yeah.
And you just need to tell, I've done it, and I'm happier that I could be. It also proves that playing Super Mario Kart can make you very, very, very happy.
Well, it makes you sad.
Well, too. Well, it happened. I had very, very sad moments in Mario Kart.
Sure.
If I had to find the other extreme in my career, I still think this is me losing the GP quarterfinal to J322 in 2015. Where you were there, actually.
I was there. Yes.
Yeah, you were at the moment felt the most desperate in my whole SMK career, and probably you saw me disappearing for perhaps 1 hour after that happened, because
I think you might have disappeared to the beer cooler for like an hour.
True. This was really a devastating moment, and this is funny because this is the exact moment when I decided to stop playing the game that much, because this was even before starting this CDM in 2015. I had almost decided in my mind that it would be the last where I would play at such a high level, and I knew this was going to be my last chance to get the bronze trophy in the end. And when you spend the whole CDM since the end of the time trial group stage up to the GP semifinals as a virtual top 3 and lose it just because of the result of the small final, it's really, really, really hard to accept.
But then you've gone back full circle now, though, because you felt your lowest of your low in 2015, and now you felt like you'd never get to the top of the mountain ever again, and then here you are in 2018 with the gold medal time trial.
Yeah, this is exactly the way I felt. So, and this also explains why it's so special to me, because winning a second gold medal in 2015, for example, would definitely not have the same meaning to me. But getting in this year, wow. And it's also funny just because France won the World Cup and got his second title in 2018, and I just did the same 1 month after, so that was really cool.
Cheers all around for France this year. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's enough time. 41 minutes into it.
Funny.
Thank you so much.
And Marius told me this was gonna last 10 minutes at worst.
And I said it was gonna be a half an hour at minimum. So I think I won the over under. So
yeah, of course, because you know me, you know I like to talk a lot, and
it's not to say. It's to say once you get going, not you. I'm just saying people in particular. Like once you're telling a story, it's hard to kind of wrap it up and condense it into 4 or 5 minutes. So it was a riveting story. I would really appreciated your personal touch on what you felt. So
Thanks.
That was excellent. Yeah. So
And I appreciate a lot to have a talk with you because it's been a while.
yeah,
So-
like 3 years.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So great. All right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for us, I guess. So thank you, Antistar, for being our guest today.
Well, thanks a lot for inviting me once again.
And congrats again on the Vanilla Lake 1 gold medal, because that was some of the most impressive driving I've ever seen in my entire life.
Thanks a lot for enjoying it, and I just cannot promise I'm gonna do something that impressive again in my life.
Well,
Sorry.
there's always next year. Right?
Yeah, who knows? Okay, yeah, next year was a Ghost Valley 1 final when I do the platform jump in the last lap. Okay.
If you bust that out back-to-back years, that's legendary status for you. Not that you don't already have that. But
Against Kara, of course.
yeah, why always him?
Of course.
All right, thanks a lot, Antistar.
Well,
And hopefully I see you soon.
you're welcome, man. See you soon. Thanks a lot.
Peace,
Have a
buddy.
good day.
Peace.